Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, rugby league fans around Auckland, around New Zealand, around the world. Here I am at Jack Colvin Park, sorry about that, and it's the home of the Roosters, and they are hosting Marist as they come across Auckland today to have their big clash here, as I said, at the home of the Atatu Roosters. Looking forward to a really good clash with these two teams. Both of them looking to get a W on the board, sort of get a wee bit of separation on the ladder, and we'll find out a wee bit how both teams are tracking once the coaches are here and Corey gets to catch up with them. One of the things that we do want to announce today, ladies and gentlemen, is welcoming on board the Safety First Removals team. They're the sponsors of our interview section. And John Kerr and his team are fabulous supporters for rugby league, not just here, but also with Manukau. And if you've got hazardous products in regards to asbestos or black mould or whatever it is in commercial or domestic buildings, these are the guys that you want to get hold of to take that product away. You can get their full details on their website, and that's safetyfirstremovals.co.nz. Make sure that you contact them to see whether they can help you with the services that they provide. Now, don't go too far away. Outside of the coaches' interviews, we'll also be catching up with the chairman down here at the Atatu Roosters, and Corey Ross will be with us very, very shortly. Cheers for now.
Joined now by Francis Melly, head coach of the Marist Saints. So, Francis, decent day for footy, a bit of wind around, but should be conducive to pretty open style of footy. Let's get a few thoughts from you on how your team's tracking. Are they where you want them to be after, I guess, almost 2 months?
Yeah, we sort of target the first 5 games. We wanted 3 out of the 5, and those wins were sort of being early in the year. They were achievable. So it was just unfortunate because the last, I think, Glenora and Otahu was, we only lost in the last 10 minutes, and those were sort of the orthodox sort of errors, balls bouncing off knees, they regather, and it came down to that. But other than that, we'll look.
A big in for you guys this year, Chris Seal, who appears to have been playing really well. How does he change the dynamic of your team?
Oh, it's massive. He brings that leadership, and as you know, we've got Harvey as our captain, and those two boys with the background history, they've been through the systems, and they bring a lot of that sort of leadership and it's important because those boys are still young, and some of our young kids sort of look up to them. So it's a big factor for us.
And you have brought through a few young guys this year as well. Who's really stood up in terms of the rookies in the squad, I guess?
We've lost a few of our good backs last year. They've gone over to sort of Australia and pursue their career, and that's fine. This year we brought up Falala. He's playing on the wing. We made him a hooker last year, and he came and asked us play on the wing, and he worked hard pre-season, put some muscle on. And then we've got a young boy, George. He's old boy. He's come back, and then we've got Tolo in the centres, and then Dukes is sort of playing. So, and they've been in the system all last year, and this year they're getting a bit of a taste. So, yeah.
I know you've seen a little bit of Te Atatu last week. What do you make of their style of play, and what are the keys to getting over the top of Te Atatu today?
I think just looking right across the board, the comp's pretty open, and Te Atatu's no different. I've kept an eye on their sort of score lines, and they're pretty tough. They gave they gave Mount Albert a good run last week. So they're a team that probably don't rely on big names, but they work together collectively, especially in the tackles. And I think that's the key to them there. If we can sort of break up that sort of routine, I think it favours us.
Awesome. Hey, Francis, thanks for joining us. We'll let you go and finish warming the team up. All the very best today.
All right, cheers. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, joined now by Phil Gordon, head coach of the Te Atatu Roosters. Well, Phil, coming to this one after a near thing against Mount Albert last week. What did you learn about your team in that performance?
I think we sort of grew a little bit, and we learnt a little bit from that about how to play a bit more football under pressure and stay focused on our structures and our plans, and have faith that it'll get us through the 80 minutes. There could be momentum swings within a game, but at the end of the day, you sort of try and ride them out and wait till that momentum comes back your way.
It is a very different Te Atatu team to what we probably saw last year. How is everyone coming together? Is it where you want it to be after 2 months?
Yeah, look, mate, it's always a difficult time when you're sort of trying to rebuild and restructure, but I think I take my hat off to the boys that come along. We've got a lot of young boys. We've got a few of our experienced boys that have come in. We're working really hard together to try and build a structure and system within the club and our top sides that will lay foundations for the next 2 to 3 years. In saying that, there's no excuses for poor performances this year. We still want to perform well. We still want to build, and we still want to be a team that plays for our people and plays for our community.
You bring in Api Piwhairangi, who's one of the best halves in the Fox for the last couple of years. How does that sort of change things, and what's he brought to the squad this year?
Api comes with a wealth of experience from many different forums of league, and I think he brings that experience and is able to communicate that really well with our young people. He has really high standards around aspects of the game, and he's really keen to work with coaching staff, management staff, etc. And mate, he's just a good bloke. Yeah, good man.
Not sure how much you've seen of Marist, but look, I think the forward pack seems to have been a standout so far this year. What do you think the keys are to getting a result today against Marist?
I think we've got to focus on sticking to the systems that we've planned to play today, and worry about how we execute with ball in hand, and defensively stick to our systems around our commitment to making sure that we are effective in our tackles. I think sometimes you can get a little bit too worried about who the opposition have. I think if we control the pool when we have it, and defensively we stick to our systems, I think we should be a good contest, especially in the middle.
Excellent. All right, that wraps up our coach interviews brought to you by Safety First Removals. Phil, thanks for joining us, and all the very best today.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Welcome back, rugby league fans, and I'm with the new chairman of the Te Atatu Roosters, and Craig Godfrey. What's it like being the new man on the block here?
Oh yeah, it's good, mate. It's good to be at the front table for the club and responsible for how we perform and how well we're organised and how well we service the community. So it's good, yeah.
Awesome, mate. Look, and I know you've been involved with the the junior program here, so let's talk a little bit about that and what you expect to achieve, being in the chairman spot.
Well, for me, right across the club, it's wellbeing first. That's what we want to be known as, a wellbeing club. That's right from our men right down to our juniors that have been involved with programs out there that Carmen from New Zealand Rugby League run. Ali has been Ali Lautiti has been a great service for us, and real support. And then Jerry Siusu, who's moving into the role as well. So it starts with the kids understanding that anybody can play rugby league. Rugby league is a vehicle to understand more about who you are, how you overcome adversities, and then how you apply that to everything else that you pursue. We've started a junior pathway system, a development system, so everybody that plays here, all of the juniors that play here at Te Atatu Rugby League are in a development system. That started with upskilling the coaches, so that we were providing a curriculum of the basics first in a safe environment. Then we have a junior elite system as well, so yeah.
Awesome. Look, and for, I suppose, mums and dads that are out there, you know, they've got a wonderful program on down here at Te Atatu Roosters. Is if I had a daughter or a son, how would I go about, you know, getting involved with the club and wanting to come down and play? You know, what grades do you have?
We've got grades. We've got 15 teams at the moment. Just like all clubs, a lot of the numbers have fallen away when you get over that 13s, 14s area. So it's about understanding how to bring those back. But to get involved, just contact the club via Facebook. And somebody will jump at the chance to start communicating with you. And as I say, it's for everybody. We do struggle to get girls out west here. And you have to have a strong female presence in your club to be able to do that. We're blessed with that with our ladies, who are really important ambassadors for the club and really for the game, and a part of the community. But it's just making that next step now and understanding how do we get more girls down there. We started with the Kiwi tag. We had an all-girls team in the Kiwi tag. But it just got to try and keep that momentum.
And just on that, look, one of the other things for a club to survive outside of having really good volunteers is also sponsorship, and you've got some really good sponsors down here. So let's have a talk about them and share a bit of love.
Blessed, really, mate. We are very blessed with the support that we receive from our major sponsor, who's Waipareta, whānau Waipareta, On Target Drilling Company, right through to our 250 club run by Rick Lanigan. So the 250 club sponsors, there's a bunch of them, too many to name. And then right through to our junior club, our major sponsor, and it's a really blessed, we're really blessed again, is Tat Sports, run by Mark Clayton, and he sponsors right through the juniors. And he'll do modules. We won the Nines tournament down here. That was a real success. We had 30 odd teams down here in 9 different clubs. That was sanctioned by the ARL. With the money that we make from that, it's a not-for-profit. We're able to provide free boots, boot bins. He gives away grants. We do mouth guards. If you play basketball and you need balls, we'll try and help you. If you're a Te Atatu kid and you want to get out there and have a go. So yeah, Tat Sports has been a real good one.
Awesome, Craig. Well, let's finally just wanted to touch on, you know, you're hosting the main game down here, so thanks for looking after the Auckland ARL team. Tonight, if we're in the area and want to come down and watch a wee bit of football, what can we expect up at the club?
Up at the club, so we'll host the top side up there. There's the bar's open as always, and we've got the bistro operating. They do a full meal up there. We're actually quite fortunate with the volunteers that we do have. We're a club that's able to do a lot with a little bit. And we're proud of that. And the beauty about it is that everybody, right through to our players, they're from the community, part of the community. And so, yeah, it's open, it's ready to go. There's a big face, a warm smile up there, so yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, Craig, on the chairman's job. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go too far away. The action's going to start warming up here very shortly as Te Atatu Roosters host the Marist Saints. If you're in the area, come down and join us. If not, make sure that you're watching the live stream, and don't go too far away now as the commentary team start getting warmed up for today's kickoff. Yeah, we're ready to go. White shot open, rounds on, let's roll. Open it.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, live from Jack Colvin Park in West Auckland. We're here today for the clash between the Te Atatu Roosters and the Marist Saints. We're about 10 minutes from kickoff, so just enjoy the build-up, and we'll run through some of the ladders and results, and we will kick things off with a little look at some of the ladders, and we'll start with the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship, which had its second round of play last week. And at the top, it is the Manurewa Marlins and Hibiscus Coast Raiders. The Hibiscus Coast, a couple of good wins. They got up over Pakuranga and then beat Manukau, becoming the first team to beat Manukau in well over a year. So a big win for the Raiders. The Otara Scorpions, Manukau Magpies, Pakuranga Jaguars, Waitemata Seagulls tucked in just behind, and then Eastern United and Papatoetoe. We'll bring in now TJ Ashford, my commentary partner. And TJ, look at that ladder early on. We were talking about Hibiscus Coast last week, and I guess the style they play being quite difficult to counteract if you're a bigger team. And look, a huge win for them last week against Manukau.
Yeah, you're right, Corey. We did speak about it last week, and I did say if there was anyone to upset Manukau, it probably would be the Hibiscus Coast Raiders. So Hibiscus, they just play a certain style of play. They play very, very fast. They do all the basic fundamental things like they play the ball very, very well. And at that level, those are the sorts of things that can win you Premier games. So well done to them for beating Manukau.
Yeah, things going very well, and I understand Liam Ackland playing really well at the back for the Hibiscus Coast, so they may have picked up an injury last week, so speedy recovery if that's the case, Liam. All right, let's take a look now at the Farrelly Photos Women's Premiership ladders, and these comps as well, 2 weeks in the Premiership. That's the top tier. It is Manurewa who are up top with Point Chevalier, nestled in just behind Ponsonby, Te Atatu, and then yet to pick up a victory so far this year, Pakuranga and Richmond. Richmond, not a team that we're used to seeing down the bottom of the ladder there, but one thing that will stand out between Manurewa and Point Chevalier is good coaching and a number of Kiwi Ferns players. In the second tier, Tani Wharau, the Waikato-based team who won the 18s comp a couple of years ago. They sit atop of the ladder with a perfect record. Manukau and Howick in behind, and then Glenora, Otara, Marist, Tuakau and Manurewa. That Manurewa team, the second Manurewa team, is effectively an under-18s team or a junior development team. A really good idea if you've got the numbers, bring those girls through in a competition where you're not playing against too many Kiwi Ferns, although there are a couple on the field with Tani Wharau. TJ, great to see Tani Wharau after their success in the age group competitions, now transferring that into the senior women.
Yeah, it is, Corey, and it's good for their development down in the game down there. I understand it's not as big, quite as big as it is up here in Auckland, so good on them for being able to travel up here and things like that once a week to get their careers up and running here in Auckland.
And Troy Hardy will bring you in now to get a few thoughts on the women's competition. A few rounds in, any surprises on that ladder?
Well, there's going to be a wonderful surprise coming up with a double header very shortly that we'll bring to air on ARL TV. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Details for that, aucklandleague.co.nz.
Excellent. Thank you, Troy. And a big thank you to Troy for all the work he does behind the scenes today with the mixing of the cameras and setting up the fields. Certainly makes TJ and I's job a little easier when we can rock up and do what we do. All right, bring up the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership ladder now. And three teams who are perfect, and look at the gap they've pulled already. Point Chevalier, Howick and Glenora with 5 wins so far, and then it's the Bayroscal Vikings with a couple of losses in that draw. They're on 5 competition points along with Mount Albert. Marist Saints right in the race as well. Remember, it's the top 5 that advance, and of course for this first part of the qualifiers you just have to avoid the bottom 4. And speaking of the bottom 4, the teams really in danger there. Right now, Te Atatu, Richmond, Northcote and Papakura all with the 1 win. But TJ, after, 5 rounds, that's quite the gap that those front 3 have already established. And I guess just psychologically now, knowing you've got that buffer, it's got to be helpful.
Yeah, it is. We mentioned this last week as well. All games count in this division, so these points don't get restarted once they move straight into the champion or the actual Fox Premiership. So, making sure that they can get on that run nice and early is going to pay dividends at the back end of the season.
And at the bottom as well, TJ, a bit of a battle on there. And you talk about, every point counting up in that top section there. But if you're a team that's likely to only pick up a few results through the qualifiers, we go back to a couple of games we've covered. Papakura getting that win over Bay Roskill. Little things like that are going to be huge there, and you wouldn't be surprised if it's points difference that probably decides who goes down there as well.
No, it's going to be a tough one. There's obviously a few teams there battling out in that last 6 category down there, so they'll need to get some wins on the board nice and early, and you definitely don't want to be in that bottom 4 because there are a couple of teams down in that Fox Championship that will definitely be pushing for promotion at the back end of the season.
Yeah, you're right, and we spoke about it last week as well. You look at a team like Manukau, who until last week had gone a year without a loss. I'm not sure you want to be taking on a talented team like that who brings confidence in as well. So, yeah, difficult time for those clubs sort of hovering around near the bottom of the ladder. And I know for Te Atatu, having spoken to a few of them today, they're viewing this, it's not mathematically as a must-win, but in terms of, I guess, building some confidence and remaining in the first division, they're viewing this one very much as a crucial clash for them today. All right, let's have a look perhaps at the fixtures for what's going on around Auckland today. And we'll start with the Central Auckland derby, Felds Park. Mount Albert Lions taking on the Richmond Bulldogs. Mount Albert, after a bit of a rough start, have clicked back into gear and would be favourites there going up against Richmond. And TJ, we covered Richmond a few weeks ago. They had a number of injuries in that game, and understand last week they were pretty well under the pump. A tough ask when you're down on troops.
Yeah, it is, and like you said, Mount Albert have a couple troops actually coming back into their squad as well, so it's only going to make it a little bit harder for Richmond in today's contest, but this game is vital for them because it's for them to try and stay in touch with that top 5, and I think Mount Albert are currently sitting 5th place at the moment, and with a win there they extend that little gap as well, so that game is very, very vital for the Richmond Bulldogs coming up to the back end of the season.
Our game there is the Te Atatu Roosters versus the Marist Saints, and we won't talk too much about that right now because we're going to spend the next 160 odd minutes doing that. The Glenora Bears against the Mangere East Hawks. Now this is a Roop Rooster clash. The Glenora Bears, they've already defended it twice, I think it is, so far after wrestling it off Mount Albert. That'll be an interesting clash there again. Just looking at that Mangere East team list, TJ, boy, there's some talent on there. But against the Glenora Bears, they just last week looked like a team that just was super confident in themselves, didn't they?
Yeah, they've always been there or thereabouts, Glenora Bears as well. So it's that contest out there today. Harold Moody's actually probably going to be one in the forward. So both got strong forward packs. We covered Mangere East a few weeks back now against Northcote, but they've actually got some strike outside backs as well. So if Mangere East can control that middle pack there, I think they'll go a long way to winning the contest with some classy outside backs.
And there are a couple of other games taking place, but our timing was a little bit out. My apologies. So we'll now get on to the build-up for the game. And how cool is this? The 6s and 8s at the club walking out the players, and the reserves forming the guard of honour. That's what a club's all about. So big shout-out to our junior players today for their time helping lead the team out. And it's always very, very cool to see this kind of thing. A number of clubs do it these days, and a big shout out to Mark Clayton here at the Te Atatu Roosters for all the work he gets through and helping set things up. So the team's now making their way out, and we'll bring up the team lists and talk you through it. And the Te Atatu Roosters, there's jersey changes everywhere, so we won't perhaps talk too much to the jersey changes. There's not too many positional changes as such, but maybe just highlight some of their key players. David Dyer is a guy out wide that can cause a whole lot of damage. Watch as well for Scott Jones and Jared Tua. Plenty of experience there in that 4-pack. But the one for me, TJ, Api Pewhairangi, who has starred really for Point Chev after coming home from the UK a couple of years ago. He'll be the little general in this team, and he'll lead them around the park. Yeah, he will, Corey. I'm actually quite excited about the 2 number 6s today. So we've got a well-experienced player in Api Pewhairangi, and then you've also got a youngster coming through for Marist and Dukes Kohiva. So spent a bit of time with Dukes in the under-19s Auckland side last year, and I definitely think that young kid's got a fair bit of talent. So good bit of a test for him today going up against Api, because Api I consider is probably one of the best halves in the competition, with not only the way he controls the game but also his kicking game as well. So if Dukes has got a strength, kicking's probably one of his ones as well. So look forward to having a good battle between those two today. Yeah, and Dukes one of 2 under-18 Auckland players in the squad, along with Tolomanila Watts. So Cyrus Payne will be their fullback. He had a really good match last week, I think it was. Watch for Johnny Falilo Malio out of dummy half. He is dynamic And brother Salah will come off the bench today. Lenny Namir in the front row as well. And Chris Seo, who has been outstanding so far. He's one of the best middle forwards in the competition and adds to what is already a fairly intimidating Marist pack. The Te Atatu Roosters are coached by Phil Gordon and Marist by Francis Malley and Zane Pocklington. Just about ready for kickoff here now as Marist spread out onto the field. Our middle referee today is Joseph Green. And will be assisted by Corey Jewell and I think Maxine Godney on the other side. And a big thank you to our principal sponsors, SAS Sporting Apparel, and a new sponsor on board today who sponsored the pre-match interviews, Safety First Removals. Big shout out to John Kerr and the team there. So it will be Te Atatu kicking to the car park end. Well, depending which side of the car park you call it. But anyway, we're underway here, round 6, and a dodgy pickup to start with, but brought in and returned there by David Leilua. It's Mafu Briggs now lining up, looking for an early carry. Falilo Malio jumps out and goes to his left, taken down on the weight of Jones and Jared Tua. Scott Jones, a former junior warrior who spent a whole lot of time in Perth playing over there, and Jared Tua, a former Auckland Vulcan who returned to the Auckland comp a couple of years ago. He's been brilliant since coming back. Falilo Malio already didn't take long to get that first run in, perhaps a hint of a high shot. It's probably a sin binning last night in the NRL. So a kick over the top now, and it's brought in by Polestar Manning, who will bring this ball back and get the set started for the Te Atatu Roosters. Early signs there. TJ, Johnny Falilo Malio, he's going to run fast, and he's going to run often.
Yeah, we've seen the last couple of years with him. He's actually very dynamic out of the acting half there. So look for Johnny to get Marist on the front foot today. And you'll see there, I think you probably didn't catch it off camera, but the number 9, Team IP, actually took a bit of a knock in that first set as well. So he come out a bit ginger. He's yet to actually get into acting half at the moment, so keep an eye on him.
All right, so perhaps early dramas as we see him just making his way to dummy half now. So let's hope for his sake he's managed to shake that off. That's the number 5, Nick Lithgow. He's not playing on the wing, he's playing in the halves, but wearing the number 5 jersey. So Lewis Seal, long-time servant at the club, donning the number 7 jersey today. Cyrus Payne now coming in looking for a bit of work. Here's Tolo Manila Watts, used as both a centre and back rower for Auckland in the National Under-20s competition, as Falilo Malio jumps out and finds 10 off 15. Last play coming up now for the Marist Saints. 2.5 gone. Falilo Malio has to hurdle. In fact, it was Cyrus Payne. Seal launches ones to the sky, but it's far, far, far too deep. And Te Atatu back out to the 20. See in the background there the little media box / kiosk that's been set up by Mark Clayton as we get a penalty here for, I think, a high shot. So Te Atatu, likely kick for touch here, I would think. Touched on it earlier, Mark Clayton and some of the work that he does around this club. Between him and Craig Godfrey, that's their brainchild up there. Craig Godfrey, the new chair of the club. But they're heavily involved in the junior development here and run all sorts of good programs. So a big shout out to those two men. Thank you for all you do for grassroots rugby league, as we see Dyer now charge the football back. Donning the headgear this year. New look for him. Scott Jones links with the 19, Kalani Pifairangi Charlie. Tua goes backdoor to Pifairangi. Lithgow moving it swiftly out to the left-hand side. It's been knocked on though. So scrum to pack down, Marist ball, 4 minutes gone. No score on the board just yet. See in the background there, the Dennis Williams Terraces. One of the legends to come out of this club. There's been a few of more recent times as well. The Arvans, Paddy Arvan and Ralph was still playing here up until a couple of years ago. Paddy, I think, is retired now, but still living over in the UK. Of course, Henry and Robbie Paul, probably the two of the most famous in the modern era at least, as Marist now work this ball forward via Lenny Nemia. Former Samoa age group rep, Chris Seal. Charging forward, it takes 3 to bring him down. Douglas Viatupu joining late there to take him down. Falilo Malio shuffles and links with David Leilua, who's had a few carries early on. Penalty here, this will help. Chance now to set up shop. It's Cale Johnson, the vice captain, who's been pinged. So time off here, must have an injury in the background. And try and pick up who that is, but it looks like getting a bit of claret seen to on the nose there, so short break and play. So it's Lenny Nemia who has gone down. Of course, the SAS College Rugby League kicked off last week as well. Lucky to get out to watch Mags and De La Salle on a pre-season game. Mags will contest the top division De La Salle in the Senior A competition, and TJ, you'd think they'd be a fairly good shot of doing pretty well in that. They've got some helpful guys, George Carmont as coach, and Mortu Tony in the background as well. Yeah, I didn't actually get to go out and watch the game, but I have seen some highlights of that La Salle game, and they look pretty sharp. They know how to move the ball, and they got a good breeding ground out there in Mangere as well, so no doubt they'll contest heavily in that division that they're playing in, and hopefully look for promotion for 2022. So Ma'afu Briggs. Leilua. Met by 4. Tua coming in to lock up the legs. Dukes Kalhiva. Finds his captain Sioni or Harvey Tuponiwa. He's the older brother of NRL star there at the Sydney Roosters. Falilo Malio goes to his right. Seal brings in the other Seal. Charging now on the centre. That's Samuel Suomili, who goes very close. Watch for the dart from Falilo Malio. Gets low. Has he been held up? Yes, he has. So turnover ball. Atatu dodge a bullet there. Johnny Falilo Malio. You can just about predict it every time he's going to go. He's so quick off the mark. Yeah, he is, Corey, and I just think, especially when they're coming out of their own half, I think they probably got to get their fullback. I think is it Cyrus Payne and a couple of the Haasas. I see an error there by an experienced player in Api Pewharangi, but yeah, Johnny's actually he's doing quite well with his running game at the moment. I think as the rest of his spine probably just needs to push up with him and support, and they might find a few more open space out there for the rest of the game. So a costly error now, which is going to gift Marist with possession 10 metres out from the line. So this is the best attacking chance of the game. Yeah, you just saw the blue kiosk at the back there. You mentioned it earlier, Corey. Big shout out to Tat Sports as well. I know Mark Clayton deals with that, and they actually do really, really well in their community out here. And Tat Sports raise a bit of money and help put some of their kids through representative programs and pay for costs and things like that. So a big shout out to Tat Sports. They do a really good job for the community out here, especially for the kids. Falilo Malio shuffles to his right and links with Lenny Nemia, who's shaken off the earlier knock. Falilo Malio even tricked the cameraman that time. Chris Seal taken down in front of the SAS uprights. 7 and a bit gone. Lewis Seal holds it up to Payne. Payne now grabbing a crossfield, ragdolled to the ground though by Lithgow. And into touch. Now this will be a penalty. They're going to call it a second effort. And wrestling the player into touch.
just a bit of common or uncommon knowledge on the rules there as well, Corey. If for those young players coming through, if you've been tackled already and the tackle's been completed, you can still, when you're getting up to find your feet, you can actually still put your foot on the touchline, etc. as well. So for your young ones coming through, that's part of the rule book.
Yeah, great point. Lewis Seal shuffles on to Chris Seal, and Payne did really well to bring that in. Now into a little bit of space goes Payne. Jumping out of tackles for fun. Joining in to save the day was Ensei Inu. He's wearing the 8. I assume he's not playing in the front row. Lewis Seal. Not far from the line now, the Saints. Falilua Malio shuffles. Held up. Great goal line defence from Atatu. Getting put through the ringer early on, but having all the answers so far.
Yeah, a bit of a flat attacking set by Marist there too, Corey. You notice there. know, like we've got to remember we've got 4 and 5 year olds coming to play in the under 6th grade, and you know, the first thing that they need to learn is how to play the game, and then having to throw their body in front of people is something hard that they need to focus on. So it's about slow progression in terms of tackling, and I think we've got the right mixture of it at the moment, so it's exciting.
So back into it here at Jack Colvin. Falilo Malio shuffles to his right. Seal played a nice ball at the line, but David Leilua spilt the lollies, so Te Atatu survive once again. 17 and a bit gone. It's the Roosters who lead 4 points to 0. The Te Atatu side brought to you by principal sponsors, the Waiparero Trust, and for the Marist Saints.
Bit of a welcome home for Sulla as well. I think Johnny played here a few years ago, but I remember back in 2016, I think it was Sulla and I believe Stuart Prez, he might be playing, coming off the bench for Te Atatu, so they was their starting front row back in the day, and ended up beating our Ellerslie side back then to get into promotion as well in 2016, so good to see those boys back on the park.
So Te Atatu now working the ball out to the left. Piwhairangi will kick from dummy half. And decent kick as well. Finds space between wing and fullback. Now be brought back by Cyrus Payne. He looks like he's got some wheels on him. Shakes out a one and then dragged to ground by David Dyer. David Dyer, a few years ago now, went on his OE. Spent some time with the West Warriors, the New Zealand League club in the west of London. It was part of their famous Challenge Cup run that year as well. Charging the ball now off the back fence is Samuel Suomili. Johnny will look to his left and find Tolo Manilawat. It's handy when you can have a centre that's got the size of a second rower. And Kohiva now will kick. Good kick again from Dukes. As TJ touched on earlier, he's got a really solid kicking game on him. Polestar Manning. So Lithgow becomes the makeshift dummy half. Manning craving across field. Cries of offside from Te Atatu, and will get their wish. So a chance to kick for touch now, and Te Atatu, well, TJ, you'd have to say winning the arm wrestle right now and doing the little things.
Yeah, they're doing all right at the moment, Corey. So and they've probably spent 90-95% of the footy down in their own half as well. So look, I think Dukes is doing the right thing. He's obviously should become the dominant half there and take a bit of control with the kicking game, but they just need to back it up with some. They just need to back it up with some good defensive sets. That's all.
So Maipi to Lithgow. Oh, Piwhairangi Charlie got rocked. Maipi comes back in field to Piwhairangi, who then links with Jones. Jones gets a late offload out where Manning is on hand to retrieve. Tua. Piwhairangi. Fresh legs on the park in the shape of Boston Hakaraya, former Mount Albert Grammar School man. And a second effort in there. So Te Atatu will have another set to play with now. Tap and a go. Prius. Still moving as Prius. I tell you what, by the end of it, he's in the end goal but held up. Looked like he wasn't going to go down for a second there, so we'll go back and start that whole process again. Prius to play the ball. Tua is set one to the right, and it will be he who receives, and then, oh dear, Piwhairangi juggled and managed to get it to go backwards. Good refereeing by our man in the middle, Joseph Green. Maipi now looking to his right where he's got a couple of big bodies. Tua to Piwhairangi Charlie. Piwhairangi Charlie sticks his nose through just about over the line. Maipi comes back infield. Piwhairangi, nice ball at the line and under the post. Now hang on, is he there? The head's over the line. And we may have an injury here. We're going to have time off. And yeah, hope Stuart Prius is okay there. A brave carry at the line, but he's taken a hard hit there. So just go away from that for the time being. But Atatu starting to really make the most of their big men here. TJ, a couple of nice carries from Kalani, Piwhairangi Charlie in particular.
Yeah, again, I'll put it back onto Jared Tour as well, just his ball playing ability at the line. And again, yeah, no, obviously having the big forwards off the back of Jared Tour there as well helps close to the line. But if I was Marist Saints, I'd probably just keep an eye on that as well in terms of when defending their try line. Probably get an extra number on there wherever Jared is, because it looks like all the ball playing is coming off him at the moment.
Okay, so it looks like we're all good there, thankfully. So getting ready to restart, and just want to apologise again if there have been audio issues. It's been dropping in and out as Jones puts the ball down, and Marist now will dodge a bullet. Yeah, we've been having a few gremlins on the system here today, but hopefully it's all good to go and we're back, and you haven't missed any of TJ's gold nuggets throughout the coverage. So Marist off the back of the scrum. This is the 5, Alia Motua. Briggs grabbing across field and then manhandled. Inu involved in the tackle that time. Falilua Malio. Taken down on halfway. Kohiva kicks, it's charged down by Tua. This will be 6 again. Again, nice call from referee Green, in perfect position to spot that one. Falilua Malio comes back infield to David Leilua. Johnny to Chris Seal, to Lewis Seal, brings Briggs back in on the angle. 25 out from the line now, the Saints looking to draw even and perhaps take the lead here. Seal charging. The former Point Chevalier Pirate, Marist Saints Jr., a star at Junior Warriors level. Falilua Malio, nicely done by Johnny. Jumps out of dummy half, bumps off a couple of bits of contact, hits back and draws his side even. 4 points all, 24 gone.
Yeah, nice little play there by the Marist number 9, Johnny. As we look at the SAS instant replay, he got his eyes up on the defensive line. You can see there, number 15, Stuart Priest, is a little bit slow to get back on the line, and Johnny's just identified it there, and a nice, tough carry, man. That's 2 big boys that he's gone through there, and he's just shown a bit more willpower to get to the line.
He showed pretty good strength there, didn't he? He was sort of off his feet as well, which was pretty impressive there from Falilua Malio. So they draw even, and you would think probably take the lead here. I think it'll be Dukes Kohiva kicking, and tends to be a pretty good kicker. There you go. TJ's backing him. I'll jump on as well. Well, hits the post and still goes over. So The Brighter Carpets, Marist Saints lead 6 points to 4 over the Waipara Trust Te Atatu Roosters. 26 minutes gone now, and not dissimilar to Te Atatu earlier in the game, TJ. Marist show a good goal line stand down there, get a bit of confidence, and then go down the other end and register points. Yeah, it's actually been a tight contest at the moment, Corey. So obviously it's probably going to come down to which team can hold on the longest on their try line, and it's actually going to and from each end at the moment as well. So look for Johnny being dynamic out acting half a little bit more as the back end of this first half wears on. A long driven kick, fielded by Seal, goes to Leilua. Oh, Leilua gets hunted down. Who was that? The 16, Boston Hakaraya. Putting himself about in defence as Chris Seal puts his hand up and says, that won't worry me one bit. Earns a penalty for his team as well. Great carry and fight there from Chris Seal. Chance now to build a set. Sala Falilo Malio. There's a knock on in there. Sala pleading his case, but that call was bang on the money. So we get a turnover ball. And scrum to pack down for the Te Atatu Roosters. We've seen the interchange used pretty heavily, some of it through forced changes. So Piwhairangi now to pack down just on halfway. Jones, the lock forward, to David Dyer. Dyer gets spun and put onto his side. Prius. Isaac Miskey onto the field. Former Mount Albert man. Good carry there from the 10. Mapapalangi. Lithgow to Tua. Tua and Falilo Malio, former Mount Albert teammates, I would think. They played together at the same time. Lithgow, looping ball over the top from Hakaraya. Now into space down this left-hand edge. Stepping his way back in as Paniora. Taken by Falala. Roosters hunting their second try of the game. Hakaraya to Jones. Jones to Dyer. Dyer running hard. Dinks a little kick in behind. Foot race on. I think in the end the ball beats everyone and Marist out to the 20 for a restart. So interesting to see a bit of a reshuffle here, I think, TJ. Looks like Boston Hakaraya is playing a fair bit in the halves here. So not too sure. It's hard to tell with the jersey numbers what the setup is there, but certainly playing a pretty prominent role the last few minutes.
Yeah, I actually think Boston's originally either a half or a fullback anyway, so it won't go straight for Boston, but you also mentioned Isaac Miskey now on the field as well. He's a bit of a danger man, so if there's any tired forwards out there for Marist Saints, expect Isaac to identify that around the ruck.
Yeah, and you're right. Hakaraya may have been the player that started in the halves alongside Piwhairangi. Like I say, it's a bit hard to tell. We've got a halfback in the 5, but it did look like Nick Lithgow was starting in the halves there. And, oh dear, we've got a Steeden on the motorway. Troy Hardy weeps a solo tear down his cheek. Sala Falilo Amalia says, get out of my way. Big thanks to Steeden as well, official football supplier for the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Falilo Amalia to Seal. Seal to Briggs. Briggs charging hard, leaves Lithgow on the ground. 10 out from the line now, the Roosters chasing this 2-point deficit. And, well, we've got a player down, Briggs. Now, what's happened here? Penalty's going to go against Te Atatu. Inu sort of stood over him a little bit for a second there. I'm not sure if that was intentional or didn't know what was going on, but we're back underway now. This is the 19, Anthony Wheely. Mrs. Seal Goes to the other seal. Briggs, that's got to be forward. Yes, it was. Marist Saints just showing a little bit of impatience there, and they turn the ball over once again in good ball.
Yeah, it's a bit weird there with the Marist style of play. That it seems like they're always attacking Te Atatu's left-hand edge. So, yeah, they've obviously identified something in that Te Atatu defensive line that they think they can win over by the end of the game. But again, I'd probably be looking to open up the space there for that left-hand edge. They've got some talented players out there on that flank, and they probably need to get their hands on the ball a little bit more.
So scrum packs down, Lithgow retrieves off the back and then goes to Zensei Inu. Dyer. It's a tough carry. Chris Seal is screaming on the line. Looking to put a shot on. Offload. Reeled in by Manning. Go out to the left. Seal. And I think he's got them for being up inside the 10 here.
I think it's a late shot off the ball, Corey. There's a Te Atatu player down at the moment. I think there was someone that made shoulder contact with someone late after the pass was made. So.
Kick put into touch, and that one remains off the motorway. So 40 out from the line. Wipe it out of trust. Te Atatu Roosters hunting their second try. Charge off the back fence from Takitau Mapapalangi. Finds his front as well. Miski to Lithgow at first receiver. Lithgow digs into the line, finds Piwhairangi. Piwhairangi now running through and running free. Te Atatu hit back. Half to half, and Api Piwhairangi finds the gap and makes the most of it. The Roosters back in front on 32 and a half minutes.
Yeah, as we look at the SAS instant replay, we've probably missed the first part of that, but Corey mentioned it in his call there. You saw the left side half for Te Atatu swing over to the right-hand side, then he's created extra number. As you see the replay there. Nice long ball here, early into the half. He's obviously squared up the line, playing nice and straight, like that play there. Nice little no-look play. Good decoy runner there, or option runner there. Uppy just identified the space there and managed to get through Dukes to score his first 4-pointer for today.
Thought he was going to run out of field for a second there, Uppy Piwhairangi. Got there in the end, but yeah, nicely broken down from TJ there. There's a fair bit going on there, but like the play from Nick Lithgow, really dug into the line there and sort of looked wide before playing out the back. It was nice stuff. You could see Piwhairangi doing a bit of organising before that as well. So Uppy steps in and nails it from up against the sideline. So the Wipe It Out of Trust, Te Atatu Roosters 10, Brighter Carpets, Marist Saints 6. Got about 6 minutes or so to play in this first half here at Jack Colvin Park. So Kohiva gets us back underway. Driven kick. And, well, for the second time today, finds success with the kickoff. The first one was a knock-on. This one bounces into touch. Boy, that's an underrated skill, TJ.
Yeah, he can pull those tricks out of his bag every now and again, Dukes, and He's actually a bit of a character as well, so he'll probably be giving Te Atatu a fair bit after that. But now look, in that try in that lead up there, I think it's Lithgow that was the left-hand half for Te Atatu. All you young ball players coming through the grades at the moment, the difference in his line compared to some of the others is how he squared up the line, so playing straight. By playing straight there, what it actually does is it stops the defenders from sliding off, which creates that open space there as we see Cyrus Payne take the ball up here for a dropout. But yeah, so just squaring up the line makes all the world of good and opens up space for your outside attackers.
So into it now, Dixon. Swinging out the back. Nice ball at the line to Tuponiwa, but it's going to be called forward. Tuponiwa kicks the ball away in frustration. Jared Tua wanting to have a laugh. I'm not sure Sioni's laughing. But the Roosters, again, dodge a bullet. New dummy half onto the field for the Saints as well, Sonia Akoola. Dyer breaks through the first up contact of Kohiva. Pawhairangi's in trouble in back play. We saw him grimacing noticeably at the play of the ball. Keep an eye on that. Offload now to Miski. Miski winds up. Bit of footwork. Well, the offload was there if he could get it away. Hovering on his shoulder was Stuart Prius. Dyer to Pawhairangi. Tua. Lithgow. Looping ball over the top from Lithgow. Chance on now down this left-hand side for the Roosters, but scrambling well the Marist Saints. They come in to contain Paniora, who's had so much defensive work to do today. Really targeted that edge. Pawhairangi to Dyer. Dyer with a bit of footwork. Played on. Now I think that was touched by Marist. Wait to see what the call is. Certainly looked as if it had caught it, and yeah, it's going to go Te Atatu's way. So a chance to strike right on half-time here for Te Atatu. Lithgow the first receiver. Hakaraya setting up as the second playmaking option. He'll go to the line. Holds it up, beautifully done. And the second effort reaching out to score is going to be Zensei Inu. Green points to the spot. And the Roosters do it. A nicely worked set play off the scrum. Inu did well to get to the try line in the end. It's going to look a little bit funny on the replay, but they all count the same.
Yeah, nice carry by the number 16 there from Te Atatu. He's obviously a bigger body and just gone through the line slightly there and managed to get an offload. And Zensei, another experienced player, had a bit of time in the Warriors back in his junior career as well. And, actually playing out of position today in the centres, I believe he's a half. So nice little support play there by Zensei.
Yeah, I think he enjoyed that one too, by the look. Maybe he was worried it was going to be a no try. Keeping a close eye on the officials. So Pawhairangi to attempt the conversion, and yeah, he's battling with perhaps a lower leg. So chance to make it a 10-point gap. Pawhairangi nails it, flags go up. Wipe it out of trust, Te Atatu Roosters 16, Brighter Carpets, Marist Saints 6. And probably only got time for a play or two in the second half by the time we get back underway, in this first half I should say. Kohiva looking to make it 3. This time it's brought in by the Roosters. Winding up is Mapapalangi. Lithgow, the makeshift dummy half to Tua. Roosters want to give the... Jones charging towards the line. Way, Pifairangi. Back to Tua, last play of the half. They're going to keep going here. Pifairangi now bouncing out of tackles. Shifts it on to Lithgow, then go out to the left edge. And they'll die on the footy there, punny order. So we go to the sheds. Half-time in round 6 of the SAS Foxmore Premiership, and it is the Waiparato Trust Te Atatu Roosters leading 16-6 over the brighter carpets Marist Saints. A short break. We'll have some highlights for you at half-time before we resume with the second half action here at Jack Colvin Park.
Tippins. Sharp as you like. Zach Tippins sells him on the dummy. 3 tackles, including his opposite number, Ben Henry. Tippins goes left. They shift play on. Is there a little gap there? Yes, there is. The Bears are over. Utah will clear the ruck. Goes to Chase Bernard. Paya Manukia to Riulu Buchanan. Oh, what a carry from Daniel Riulu Buchanan. Now picked up the tempo a little bit, and his defence has been outstanding for a smaller body as well. So credit to Timothy for putting it, as we see a break here. Tanielu gets through the first one. The support player may have taken out. Josh Tanielu. That is simply brilliant. Magical footwork from Tanielu. Levi to Bernard. Bernard ball plays at the line. Ioka brings in Quokka Smith. This is nice from the Bears. Chaz Brown now into a little bit of space. Steps back in, breaks free. Lua Falialo. Nice from Glenora. Siren sounds in the background. West Auckland, record block Glenora Bears win this one. 22-6 over the Gilmore's Mayoral School Vikings in round 5 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Joining me now, Chase Bernard, captain of the Glenora Bears. Well, Chase, certainly didn't have it all your own way, but it must be nice to come out on top in the arm wrestle a bit.
Yeah, it's always good to get the 3 points as well. Strong game, we expect them to come out and play the way they did. But just proud of the boys, the way that they kept us in the game and come out with the win.
I'm sure you had a game plan coming into it to counteract what Bay Roskill do. Did you felt like in the first half you fell away from that, and what was said at half-time to address it?
Not really. I think we did what we said we were going to do. We knew the type of footy they play. I think it was just, we've never played that type of footy, so I guess we just had to get into it a little bit, and then maybe the second half it got a bit better.
Joining me, a very tired-looking Ben Henry. Well, Ben, you gave it a good run for the money, but in the end there just couldn't quite stick in the arm wrestle. What was the key thing that fell away?
They're a very clinical team. They've obviously done their homework. It doesn't help when you get 2 live stream games. So yeah, teams will do their homework, but we just have to make adjustments, and I think that's the biggest thing for us this week. If teams are going to jam up on the edges, then we need to have that plan B.
First half in particular, you soaked up a lot of pressure on your own line and really stayed in that arm wrestle. Is that aspect pleasing?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're a club that really, we've got our back up against the wall, and to come out against an outfit like Glenora, we've got some really great players. To show that heart for, I guess, the first 40 is pleasing, but when you do that for 80, and that's what win games.
We've got your back.